Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another episode or another video of Morning Wood here on the Pay Me No Mind Sports and Entertainment channel. I'm the creator here, Wood. Please check me out at www.bitedownboxing.com for my boxing. I might have a little boxing thought here in just a second with regards to Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman, some of the press conferences. I thought it was two, but I'll get to that. One, man, I am in day 4 of a 10-day cleanse that I'm doing, me and my wife. And I'm down about 5 pounds, maybe. Down about 11 from 2 weeks ago, maybe. So we'll see. I'm trying to do something long term, but it involves smoothies. So I haven't eaten any meat or any regular food since Sunday night. And it's all kale, spinach, spring mix. It's base. That's the base of all the different smoothies. So I'm gonna continue on with that and see what I can do with it after the 10 days are up. Little disagreement in the household of my proposal to do some different things with our day-to-day diet moving forward. But anyway, we'll get this cleanse down. Going into a holiday weekend, it's kind of up in the air if we're gonna make it through the those are 2 of the days that's inside of this 10. So it'll be interesting to see how we figure that out. I'm gonna stay on point though. Salute to Juwan Howard, who's endorsed by Jalen Rose on a new 5-year deal with the University of Michigan, my college, my favorite college. Definitely my favorite college in the Big Ten. He's a Fab Five member. What they go to 2 national title games, NBA vet. He's been on the bench of the Heat since 2013, learning under Eric Spoelstra. I had to take Jalen Rose at his word that the guy is ready. College basketball is an interesting animal. It's going to be a difficult transition, in my opinion, to go from Beeline style right to Juwan Howard. And we have to figure out what Juwan Howard basketball looks like. Will it be something that resembles the pro style, kind of the pro style, and 4 guards and a big man that Beeline with shooters? I'd like to see some physicality return to the team personally. But Beeline did some great things there, some Final Four runs, It's weird how it happened because he was offered a job for the Pistons. He turned that down a year or 2 ago, and now he accepts the job to go to Cleveland. But anyway, we'll see what Juwan Howard does. We'll see how recruiting plays out. I saw where one kid had pulled his commitment. I can't remember his name, but just the timing of this Beeline thing was kind of crazy, and I think it led to they were considering the Cooley guy out of Providence. I really wasn't a fan of that. Like I said, it's the funny thing here before I move on from it. The funny thing is that I was in high school, junior or senior, when the Fab Five was going at it, and Juwan was always the more mature one. He had the more technical game, less flash, post game, serious youngster. I think he only did the crazy cabbage patch. I think that was Juwan. That was the only time he really got out of character, celebrating. And now here it is coming full circle for him to be the coach. Mixed in amongst those personalities, it's kind of interesting, man. So I'm wishing for the best for him. And, hopefully we keep this same energy, 3 or 4 years from now. And things, it's difficult to advance, and win titles, in college basketball, college football too, college sports in general. So we'll see that happens. Like I said, I want to see a return to more of but that's not even, it's all guard driven. But I just want to see some more, and maybe physical players aren't even out there now. Maybe everybody is on this finesse stuff in the Steph Curry area. Little entertainment note. I've been doing some recaps on Showtime's series, urban drama, The Chi. In season, what are they in? Season 3? Season 3? Season 2. I think it's season 2. Anyway, those are on the playlist. One of the major leads in the show, Jason Mitchell, who plays Brandon, the brother has been fired from the show. He's been let go by his agency that represents him. He was also set to star in a movie, I believe it was called Desperados, Netflix movie. He's been dropped from that. It's everybody's turned their back on this brother, and it's from alleged sexual assault or inappropriate behavior. And it's actually, I think a lot of it stems from the girl on the cast that plays his girlfriend, or the actress on the cast that plays his girlfriend. Her name is Tiffany Young. Jerica is her name on the show. And it got so bad, reportedly, this was on Deadspin or Variety. It got so bad that Young was actually inviting her husband, who's also an actor, or her fiance, Mark Richardson, I believe is the name. She was inviting him on set when she had to film with Jason Mitchell because of the brother's inappropriate behavior. I guess some other women on the set came forward and said they had similar complaints, and they got rid of him. And coming from where he came from, onto the scene, playing Eazy-E or portraying Eazy-E in Straight Out of Compton. And, some of the other projects that he's been in, and being kind of a hotter actor, and one that really wasn't stuck making the urban movies and being in the, black films and all of that. He was kind of in the mainstream side of things. And he squandered all of that because he doesn't know how to act, apparently. That's not saying the dude is guilty. We had to see where this goes. But supposedly a thorough investigation was done. And Lena Waithe, the creator behind The Chi, she had to play a big part in him being fired. So we think she's a real one. So she had to see some things that led her to this decision. The one thing that I wasn't sure of, and I had been throwing out there questioning, was whether or not the show would make it to a third season. And it has been renewed. I've learned that it has been renewed for a third season. I'm glad it's being given that shot, because they've got some different things going on this year in the script. I mean, in the storyline, that it'll be interesting to see how they play out. We've seen a couple new things, or new characters be introduced that we didn't see last year. Some people from last year fell off without any reason why, pretty much. Loosely, they mentioned some stuff. But I just wasn't sure it was going to make it. It doesn't seem like the buzz is really out there online. Not many comments on the videos that I've done. I know I haven't been consistent with doing the live stream to kind of welcome that type of interaction. Maybe people interact better with the live stream versus coming on something after the fact, leaving comments. But it doesn't seem like it's a lot of buzz for the show. And if you check out any of my videos, you might not even know what the show is, The Chi, which would be part and parcel of the problem. But anyway, it's coming back for a season 3. Boxing, huge weekend for, like I said, Cincinnati's Jamel Herring, junior lightweight, facing, I think it's Masayuki Ito for the WBO junior lightweight title. Great marketing by Top Rank, to have a former Marine Corps service member, a former Olympian. I believe some footage or some backstory stuff drops on him tonight on ESPN, probably ESPN Plus. I don't have a lot of familiarity with Ito. One correction though. I said that Alantez Fox lost last Saturday in the fight that was in DC with Tierra Brown on there. He did not lose. I think he got a 6-round TKO. And then his brother Michael Fox actually upset the Gab Nazaro guy from Top Rank out there out west 2 or 3 weeks back on that Dog Bay, the Navarrete, and Dog Bay, and then Burchelt and Vargas. So salute to the Fox brothers. So boxing wise, like I said, this I looked a little bit into the some of the business stuff that's going on, the reported sale of or the purchase of the PBC by this group called Endeavor. I guess Endeavor is behind Zuffa, which owns the UFC. And all in all, it's just a bunch of speculation at this point. I guess Endeavor is getting ready to have an IPO. With their ownership of the UFC, it makes sense kind of for them to look to add another, combat sport entity to its portfolio. And I think part of the problem is, part of what's driving it is the fact that the company that put up the money for the PBC, Waddell and Reed, they're not getting a return on their investment. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, and they want to be out of the boxing business. So Endeavor could come along and help them out with that. And but it's just all speculative. These are private companies at this point, and so even if Endeavor was to purchase the PBC, it doesn't necessarily mean that it would be major changes in terms of Al Heyman being pushed out of anything and Heyman Sports. That doesn't seem like that's what it's all about. But there would be some reverberations from that, as to be expected. But nothing is definitive about, it's the end of the PBC. Similarly to some of the stuff that's out there about DAZN going away or bleeding money, quote unquote. I think people have to understand that it's a long play. And boxing is kind of the easy foray into sports. And that's one thing in looking to the information that I heard, some of the money that was thrown out there for annual budgets, Showtime, I want to say, was at the bottom with maybe, the PBC had about $120 to $140 million budget for boxing. ESPN, I think, had 190. And then DAZN was up about $250 million for the year. So that's just kind of the money that's being thrown around out there. Like I said, I ran across some good information to consider. The sources were pretty solid and had a lot of experience in combat sports and journalism covering the sport of boxing as well as MMA and whatnot. So do yourself a favor before you get out here running with some of the stuff that you see posted on Twitter, post on social media, some of the stuff that may be in some of these YouTube videos. Do a little research yourself and actually get an ear on some stuff versus going with some dude in front of a camera who may have spent 2 or 3 minutes with it and ran with the first thing that they heard because it was the most salacious. Pacquiao and Keith Thurman, I'm gonna keep this short. I'm not really into this fight at the moment. I'm sure I'll come around to it. Definitely not for pay-per-view. I just don't know what Pacquiao has to give at this point. And the interesting thing that came out of it was Keith Thurman saying that this was it for him for 2019. We wouldn't see him until 2020. He doesn't really want to entertain the fight with Errol Spence to close out 2012. You can't make the man fight. But it's kind of like with The Punisher on Netflix being canceled. As soon as it came, or a couple weeks after it came out, they canceled Daredevil, they canceled Luke Cage, and they canceled The Punisher. And I don't think I've watched Daredevil or The Punisher, season 2 of The Punisher. It's kind of like knowing that there's nothing after it. It's no sense in watching what's now. And that's kind of where I am with this fight. If I don't know what regularity you intend to have on your schedule, or what your long-term goals are for the sport. I have problem really committing to it. I'm sorry. What is going on with Danny Swift Garcia's Instagram account? His Danny Montana character, now that it's pulling in his wife as his co-star, his wife in her rear end. Very interesting. But let me get on off here, man. I'm like 8 minutes too long on this thing. As I always say, and I'm gonna try to do a podcast tonight. A couple different people haven't responded to requests for interviews and whatnot, and it's kind of, I don't know. Anyway, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.